Okay. Hello, welcome to another episode of the GNPS General Engineer. As always, I'm coming at you with another dope podcast, another dope guest, another dope artist. Seems like that's what I'm known for these days. But nonetheless, let's get into it. Sitting across me is my next guest. I'll let him introduce himself. I'm trying to make it a habit to let people own the intros before I stuff it up.
Ngcono umuntu ayintroduce kungaze kuthiwa ubani bani kanti awuyena ubani bani. Igama lami uNtokozo kaDlamini. Ibeka kanjani? I'm a producer, record producer, songwriter, audio engineer, and a recording artist, not a performing artist yet. So
Gotta separate the two.
Ngempela because they performing, not recording. It doesn't.
Yini ukuthi ube recording over manje. Jordan.
Short time performance in my ego. But besides that, I think it's I don't think performing is my thing. I don't see myself performing. You know, like even recording was a process because it's like a marketing thing for me. Yeah, about recording because I felt like I'm not what you call a marketing person. I don't have like the marketing head. You know, like a producer, I shy beaty, I forget like a promo peak, I post it online.
Yeah.
So to a favorite page like I'm a beat out 1,000. I don't have the heart to do that. So I'm like, let me do projects so I can sponsor myself as a beat maker. So like when you go to the project, it's like even if I'm not on the song lyrically or writing, there's something I did there which is production. So if a move would as I'm not beat, but it's how I mean. So like that's a marketing tool. When they get to the project, they see everything that I do at once. I've been told, oh, upalile kuphela lana, oh, la umixile or masterisha kuphela. You know, so like that was like a marketing tool to like sort of boost myself when I get anywhere. So what have you produced, you know? Even if I haven't produced for any other artist, I'm like, this is what I produce for myself. And I'm saying, but you want to do a you know, so like it's just like a marketing tool I developed at least let me just put out projects as an artist or as a producer, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what should say I'm an artist scarce.
So you ended up being forced to be an artist yourself.
Yeah.
So you mean to say, Uti, you ending up being an artist that's releasing music was just an effect of you not having artists around that you could work with.
Yeah, like that's the effect because like it came to a point where it's like you know that you're not the dopest person, but like you know that you have like something, and you're like you know when you give people a beat. Now we do some time beat, but say, "Hey, but when I get in potential, I'm 90 boy. Let's take it back." Then 1 month goes by, 2 months go by. Yeah, so record like, face, you know. Then another person comes through with Shanghai, you know. So it was an effect of that thing. Just So like I'm like I was saying, see, just like, cause I feel like I'm not a. As a band, but I'm not a commercial producer in a sense that I don't think I make normal beats that when you hear at first you're like lenga ngena kanje. So most of my beats are mostly like when I make them in my head I know ukuthi le beat ngena kanje yabo. And then like that's like kind of creates communication in you know, because when rappers or singers want beats, they want beats that they're gonna take and go to studio do their own thing. They don't want to ask you ukuthi so so that's another thing too. So just to just repeat myself. Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. But I'm an artist as guys. It's not that they were not there.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just they were just like doing this thing of being like, how it's exam, and then like after like some time, it just dead silence.
It's like basically like work wasted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, what's you like? How do you like formulate a beat? Like, how do you create a beat from scratch? Like, is there a process or is something? It's just like you chill and then next minute here's a scoop.
I would say there's the emotional process. It's not like a process per se. Like I've fixed in positive and then I know that I'm gonna be juiced up for making a beat. Just an emotional process of I might see something online and be like, damn, it would be dope to write about that, and be like, and then think if I was to write about that, or I would ask someone to write about that, what type of beats I would put them on. You know what I'm saying? Then I would like maybe sometimes repeat that thing, maybe formulate something hook nyane khanda bo, so that I will khona on track ukuthi ingayilahli tempo, ingayilahli rhythm, yabo. So then I do that, or sometimes just like, just literally sitting right here, and just like in my head, kube khona lyric eliqhumayo ekhanda yabo, and I'm like, I need to lace it. Then I go to like the computer, then then I try just like then I start playing with the chords and whatever. Sometimes into ifika hlambe slow jam it's in the house. Because like you alterate it because you're like, oh damn, I've heard somebody do it like that. It would be cool to hear this specific template or flow on like Afropop beat instead of an R&B beat. Sometimes I have an idea of like an R&B, and then I play with the tempo. So it's be melody core, and then labeling in your song, labeling issues, and then it becomes something else. So most of the ideas are formulated like that.
So basically, from what I'm understanding, it's like it's like when you take when they take wood and they make a vase or like those miniature statues.
Yeah,
it's the same thing, because when they start off, it's just a
tree
trunk. Like it could be just a tree trunk. I don't know if you've seen those videos online where somebody takes like
I've seen
a log of wood and just turns it into something amazing.
I've seen those like on Facebook, something like maybe it's clay or something. Just like somebody just sitting there and just like if it at 3 minutes, like if I saw it, but I've seen those. Yeah, like basically it's that,
Yeah.
Sometimes, cause like sometimes it's just like seeing an artist too, cause majorly I'm a producer. Like I like to like produce and bring ideas into the world, And like sometimes you when artists, they're like maybe singing online or hearing an artist's music, and you're like, yo, I didn't we ghost, but now you're hearing them on like maybe on a trap joint, but they singing on a trap joint. You're like, I'm just beat R&B no Afro beat, and I have ghost, and then sometimes I then like make the beat. And then use the lyrics that I heard on the song that I had that person on. But now I just lower the tempo in my head. And then after doing that, finishing the beat, then I go record myself singing something similar to what they were singing. And then I'm like, when I hit them up with the whole thing. So it's sort of like a presentation. Like, dude, I would like you to jump on this beat. Here's the idea I have. I think you could sound nice on it. So there's a bone with it. It's not a thing of like I just woke up and I was like, I'm just gonna have my followers out 10K. I just want to make a song with them so I can blow up. It's like a thing of like, I think us coming together, we can just create something that people don't think you are capable of, or they think you're capable of, but they're scared to tell you, Guti, mchita noma taking zamalent, so that's what I try to do as a producer. It's not like I want to make the greatest song in the world, but I want to make songs that I feel like I need it, like if I feel like a message is not being portrayed in the public, I just like try and put a concept together and just like get people to sing on it or whatever,
Yeah. Like speaking about songs, like one of your songs from your latest EP, like a song that was playing just now, Water. By the way, it's available on all digital streaming platforms.
Yes, sir.
You can go cop that out. I'm gonna have it playing in the background just slightly.
Yeah.
So if people can just if you can't hear it, you can Shazam it. Let me just give you a moment. It's a moment for you to Shazam the song and go listen to it. And just for you to have context as to what we're talking about. Let me turn it up.
I was on a look, yeah. Working now.
Now that is giving you a moment to go Shazam that. Support the boy. What? Now, okay. Let me tell you what I'm understanding from the song.
Yeah.
If we're talking about the background of it.
Yeah.
You either had as like somewhat of a spiritual encounter or epiphany, whatever, or you were around somebody who went through such, or you know of somebody who's gone through such. But now that we're here, I'd like to find out from you, obviously the whole project, I think the whole project as a whole, like, if I look at it, I get why the song is in there. Yeah. Number one, the title of the project being Patience.
Yeah.
And when it comes to these kind of things that you're talking about on this track specifically, it requires a lot of patience.
Yeah. So like the whole song, the essence of the whole song and why it's like there is because I'd say like music, it's like the whole project, the whole project is dedicated to like my relationship with music, I feel like it was inevitable for me to not do music. So like the song is a sense of being at a place where I'm like, whether I like it or not, this is the only thing that I can actually do that like comes effortlessly, which is if you go listen to the project right now, it's like most of the songs are like a sort of come from a place of self-discovery, which is something I would say like it's like I don't know, it's like a spiritual journey in a sense that like at some point in time, I felt like I was just doing too much. I was my hands were in too many things, because I was studying in media. So when I was studying in media, I came there to do radio, right? Because it had sound, because I hadn't like researched and all that. So it was too late for me to go to another sound engineering school, and the only one I knew was that one. So when I went to study radio, when you get to the first day, you study like a lot of things, which I get why. Like, but it's like short courses of everything, just like showing you, maybe you came here for this, but there's this, there's that, So when I got there, I got to study like television production, which I fell in love with. So when I get there, I meet other people. Like I would say I'm a loner, like antisocial. I don't like to be around many
Hence
people.
the track antisocial.
Yeah. So like I really when I get around a lot of people, I just chill in the corner, you know, and just like wait for whatever attending to be over, then I bounce, yeah, bro. So when I got there, it's like I was that person who was always like, when I finish a lecture, yeah, bro, I just go to the computer, go learn something about production, how to 8 finesse what. Then I feel like people, you know, like when people see someone sitting alone, they're like, oh my tabgisa. Then I feel like that like rotated to like people coming towards me or whatever. So then I ended up having a lot of people that I know. Yeah, bro. So now you know people want help.
Yeah.
so now when people like want help now, and I'm like a selfless person, yeah, bro. Like I help, you know. But now it became like a process of like when you help people, it's like it doesn't amount to nothing. That is very productive. It's not like I want money or whatever. But you wish that okay, at least let the man say you know, like you just like feel like you're standing in one place, but like you're doing so much. You know, you're helping that person. This person is like, I found dope. This is so like the whole song is like talking about the whole process of just like feeling that I'm in like one place. Yeah, well. Then like what happened is that 2020 happened, right?
Like the place is it's like you're sinking.
It's like you're sinking in this water. Yeah, but like it's like you just above to above water. You know when your head is like this,
the surface,
and you just like, but man, you release at the same time. You're like, yeah, you know. So I feel like then 2020 happened, and I was working on a project. Then a project that was supposed to be finished in 2019. 2020 happens, and then like the pandemic happens, yeah, bro. And the pandemic happens, like, damn, no more studio, no more. So now you cannot distract yourself with anything. So now you have to think about these things, yeah, bro, which hence the whole title track of antisocial or patience, you know, college life and whatnot, those introspective songs. You know what I'm saying? So it came to a point where I was just sitting in my room and I was like, Fitz, what's happening with our life? Where are we going? Yeah, bro, where are we going? Where did we go wrong? Because like we were going like this, then we did this, then we dipped, yeah, bro. So like it's just like it's like I don't know, I'm not making sense right now, but like it's just a process of just sitting with yourself in your bedroom and thinking about life, you know, and being like, where do we want to go? What was the dream before we met all these people?
How old are you?
21.
21.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You know, when I was 21, I wasn't concerned with what am I doing. Like, I never asked myself such questions. Like, I think it's only when I was 25, like when I was 25, 26. I wouldn't say it's the way my life was going, but like that's when I started asking myself, like, what am I doing with my life? Like, you know, such questions where you find yourself at a point where you need to like do some serious introspection.
It's like, hey,
like
see my shit a bit. But yeah, so like hence the way it starts, you know, like I was numb and cold, you know, like I feel like I was in a space where I wasn't like, I was just moving with everyone. It's like if that person is doing something dope, I'm going to talk on fuck. If the person is doing something dope, I'm fuck a boy. You know what I'm saying? Then it came to a point where I'm like, dog, this is not it. We just like, you know, emotionally it was taxing, you know, it's like, you know, which is why hence the spirituality of like it and like the drums and like the shakers and whatnot and the intro clip of Kanye West saying like of the what's the recent project he dropped in
Jesus is King.
Yeah, like I was doing an interview with Jesus is King and I was explaining like his whole process to get to that point of Jesus is King. And he's talking about the fact that when he was like talking about God, like before he gave himself to God or Jesus, he was in debt, what, and he just had to let go and let God control. You know, so I felt like my whole life, was planned. You know, like since I was 16 and I was trying to get in the music industry and understand it, like I came with a plan. Yeah, bro. It's like at this point we're gonna do this. At this point we're gonna do this. You know, and all these things like sometimes take time to happen, but they happen on time, age-wise. You know, and you like, and then you look back on that and you're like, okay, these things happen whenever they're gonna happen, and I should just let go. So like, yeah, like even if I know I'm not making sense right now, but like that's the whole process of it. It's like just letting go and just being like, dog, whatever you do, you just have to put your heart in it, and if it's meant to happen, it's gonna happen. That's the whole process of the song. Hence the clips and whatnot. Yeah.
I no, it's amazing that you know. See, I'm just like stuck on the fact that you're still 21, bro. And some of the things that you're talking about, like, I mean, on a track like College,
Yeah.
you're speaking about, it's another track. Let me see if I can give you a moment to Shazam that. Shazam works, guys.
Spanish Shazam.
That's a joint featuring Theo Keys. Is he a homie?
Yeah, that's the homie. Like
Is this him?
Yeah. Like the only thing I did there was produce and mix and master. That's what I was telling you about. So if you like the song, you cannot ignore the beat, right? You cannot ignore the lyrics. You cannot ignore the words.
Yeah.
So that's marketing 101.
So on a joint like this, you just did the beat.
Yeah, and just mix and master, like, which is another concept of like the whole black brand and the project. It's like that's why songs like Gasfela and this College Life, there's literally angiko, but I orchestrated it somehow, some way, because like.
So which songs on the projects don't have you?
Gasfela and College Life, they're 2 songs.
Okay, and then Ingiabonga.
With the Telu Keys, and then I just do the verse, because the reason why I did the verse was it's just to be there, to be honest. But like that's her song. Like that's like I feel like first of all I had the concept of that song. Like it was a weird concept. It was not weird, but I felt like it was not the time for me to drop it. Yeah, but like I had the hook in my head. I was like, no, dog, this is not the one. Yeah, but it's relax and the face for us to talk about those situations that come.
Yeah.
Then I sent the beat to Telu Keys. Yeah, but so Telu Keys like does this hook. I'm like, yo, this is hard. This is hard. Yeah, but then when as she continued, I was like, you know, as I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is a song, bro. But now the type of, like, she has a lot going on. About like she's in varsity and what. So in my head, I'm like, she probably won't have the time and day to drop it. So let me just drop it on my project as marketing. And we'll see, like, whenever she's ready to drop her own music, there's a reference point. So we'll see. This is the chick that you heard on that joint, you know. This is the Yabona Corn to kind of increase marketing towards it, in a sense of like of social media. You know, when you go to the project, obviously you're gonna go on somebody's page, and when you see like when you see actually who's on the song, who's lying on my lane, so like it's sort of a marketing tool too. So but like with College Life, it's like the thing is, Dave is a great rapper.
Wait, since you say like this one, you own production only, so you come up with the concept of the song as to what are we writing? What are the writing topics?
Yeah, like literally the whole. I'm like a big planner. Like, you know, actually, like my whole life was planned. It's like the whole project was planned. Like 10 songs, okay, and there's 10 songs. What are we talking about? And then I put down the track list, and then I'm like, okay, this one is gonna go to this one, and this one's gonna flip on that one. That one's gonna go to that one, you know. So all the concepts are already there by the time I give you the beat. Concept is khona vele, yabo. So like college life was like already there in my head.
Yeah.
Even the skits that are in between there of Code Day was like, I saw an interview at Code Day, Beno Joe Biden. So like he was just talking about the process of like how he dropped out of college and made it in the music, and you know. So I was like, damn, this is the skit. This is the this is the one, because I wanted to. I didn't know, because like in my head when I made the beat, I was like, this is gonna be college life, you know. Hence the, if you listen to the song,
you can carry on talking.
So like if you listen to the song like properly, and just like you're gonna hear the reiterating like bell, which was supposedly was gonna be a sample, as what college life, da 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 da. Then at the end of the day, because it was a rap song, so we couldn't do that. So I just wanted something that's gonna act as a hook to the whole song, you know. Yeah. So which happened to be Uko Day, which is at the beginning and at the end, and then in between, then the kids did like those like those talking thing in between. So like that's how like probably the whole song came about. But yeah, the song was pretty much like planned, and like that's the whole just concept of the song. You one man, it's that one man job. Wow.
And then when how do you pull it off, like to be a one man band?
One man band.
I feel like that's something that we have in common.
Yeah. No, it's like it comes with like, hey, being one man band comes with like being antisocial, you know. Like when you're like I feel like some people are introverts, and there are people like who are antisocial, and there are like people who are like antisocial light, you know. Like when you're antisocial light, I feel like you're a person who can go out in the world for a long time, but there's a certain time where you just chill alone.
Yeah.
You know, when you're introvert, you go out there in the world and have fun, but when you want to have your time, you want to have your time. Me and a dog, I'm like antisocial to the max, you know.
you keep it to yourself all the time.
Like all the time, you just out there, just like figuring ways out to better yourself, you know.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, it's like every time when you go out, it's like there's this feeling of like of just not belonging. You know when you go out there in the world.
Exactly. You mean that,
just like
not that, like even before when I did go out.
Yeah.
You know? But like I couldn't help it.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like I'm out of place. I'm at the wrong place. Eventually, maybe when we first get there, we're having a nice time and it's good. Blah blah blah. But like overall, like I'll be there the whole time.
Just
thinking
think about home. I
shouldn't be here. Why am I here?
But yeah, so
and like see. Society doesn't make it easy because, like, you know, adding these tags to it, like,
yeah,
you know the terms.
Hey, yeah, antisocial, so you know, so like, yeah,
I hate that.
So like, I feel like since like I was a kid, I feel like I was a person who could go out in the world and do whatever I had to do and then come back in the house. You know, like ngangikwazi ukuthi ngiyodlala nje manje ngiyodlala ibhola ngikuthi it's like it's not in thing of like, I'm going to chill with friends, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, so dlala ibhola. Like, uma ngibiza ekhaya, uthi sami sodlala ibhola, angifuni mase ngifika ngaphandle. Bese conversation iyashintsha-ke manje. Hayi no soqala ehlule la, you know? You know? So for me, like as a kid, I think it's playing soccer like made me feel like I was not antisocial, you know? Cause like me sodlala ibhola, like let's dlala ibhola. But every time when we stop playing soccer, like once I play ibhola, I would just feel out of place again and be like, why am I here again? You know? You know? It's like as soon as like phela kuba mnyama, you know? Bese kuba mnyama umuntu ethi ibhola egoduka eyafetha nami ngathi sengizogoduka manje. No. So for me it's just realizing that in music too, to be like, as much as I love making music with other people, like, dog, I cannot like be with other people for that long. You know? So that's the thing. It's like, okay, if I make a song today with someone, let me just go to the studio and just make the song. After making the song, everything's go talking. You know?
So right.
Yeah, so like songs that I had to do in the studio, that's how it works. You know, we set up a session, like, okay, we're gonna record it this time. After this time,
where do you record?
A majority of the projects I recorded myself, like where I'm at, which I won't disclose. But yeah,
you got to. Do you feel like people are gonna just show up?
Hey, I want to buzz it up. Let's record this boy. Like whenever there's a mic in the room, we are all over. So we studio. But yeah, the features were recorded Skylight Studios, which is owned by P-Sign and Big Eyes, you know. So I'm a dance Kaya. So yeah, that's where the majority of the first project was mixed. He hope that P-Sign mixed and mastered the whole project.
You and P-Sign go way back.
Hey, it's like, hey,
you just met
like
through his spine.
We go like as people, we go way back. Like distantively, if that's a word, like via, you know, like ubone mokhula nomuntu endaweni inhlezi nibonana, but like awazi sibani wenzani.
Oh,
you know,
it's like you're doing the same thing, but
but like you never know.
Both of you don't know.
Yeah, so like, but like what happened is that like we used to play soccer together. Funny enough, we used to like play soccer way back, you know. So like when I had to record this project, because I just went to the first project, I'm on like 3 songs. Yeah, 3 songs. So my plan was to record 2 songs on the first project, which was the outro.
This is your project.
Hope. So like.
So you've always had this thing that.
Like
your projects. It won't just be.
Yeah, like it's
even though you made the decision, okay, since I'm an artist, I'm gonna be the artist.
Yeah, but like the whole concept of the project was just to shine light on other people too, as I'm shining light on me, you know. To just be like, okay, after there's a person I saw on Facebook, and I feel like they're not getting enough love. Yeah. So let me just hit them up and let's see what we can cook up, you know. So that was the whole process. But like, I felt like those 2 songs that I wanted to record, they were just personal. Like they were things I just wanted to get out of my head and on audio, to just be like, okay, this thing is out there in the world now, in the universe, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I went to record to P-Sign. So Nakon was thinking of like, I was gonna record, and then after that, Sahlugan. It's a relationship,
and that's
you know. But weird enough, like what happened was that like that was like a weird beginning of a friendship, you know. Of like, cause now like the first time I came to record to him, and like at that time I was just like emotional. I was in a weird place where I was just whenever I do something, I just want to do it and vibe, So I mean, I just want to get over the process of recording and go back home in my room, you know. Like, dog, I dog, Then like, and that was like 2019, beginning of 2019, and I was bugging P-Sign for like 2018 or so, like on social media, like, yo, dude, you know, sending him beats and being like, wait, too, because like he's a producer too, and like he's better than me as a producer, bro. So I just saw the guy was bugging, dog.
Wait,
Like,
this is the first time I hear somebody say
all over, I'm the best in the game. So like I was like, it was one of the people I was bugging for growth. It's like, it's you know what I mean? You know, so just get pointers of like, you know, how can I grow as a producer too? You know?
Yeah.
So like, then like that's like that created like a sort of like pre-friendship before like the friendship, you know? Because now he knows that like, okay, this guy does this type of music. You know what I'm saying?
It's like you were homies before.
You know, before you even got to studio. So now when I get to studio, it's like very quiet. I want to lay So now when you get there, you like, yo, he's like, do I know you from anywhere? I'm like, dog, I know. I've never like met. So in my head, I'm like, I've never met this guy before. You know, my social media, dog. You know. So like weird enough, like last year, no, like it was 2019, no, last year, but either before like it's either 2019 or 2020, yeah, well. So like I post a picture of like I don't know the video, no me, it's Tom, whatever, but with peace sign in it, you know. So like one of my homies is like it's a ball and like who's now a producer too, you know, which is the person that showed me FL Studio and whatnot. He's like, "Hi, wafethu, ukhulani lona nje mchita." Like khulani walapha mfethu. It's like, mfethu ukhulani lona dog sahlala na ibhola eVirginia. So now it flashes back to me ukuthi, oh, okay, ukhulani lo sasigibela even yakubo when we went to like play soccer in Virginia. I'm like, yo. So now I'm like, yo, it makes sense why Umchita was like, dude, do I know you from anywhere, from somewhere, yabo? So now it's like, yo, I'm like, now Umchita says khuluma yabo. It's like, Umchita wami Sandu just hit me up, dog. What's if it's a ibhola eVirginia? It's like, dog, crazy enough. And to add on that, it's like we went to the same like preschool, like Connor in if you're from Avoca Hills, you know, like there's a preschool called Snuggles, yeah, bro. So he's 2 years older than me, so like he went there before me, yeah, but like I'm sure at some point we were in the same place. Then we're like, oh wait. To add on that, we're like before we, because my family used to stay on the other road of Avoca then we moved to the other side. So before we moved to the other side, we used to stay on the same road, which is called Avocado Grove. So it used to be like part of this one road. So practically means that we probably took the same routine every day.
Same place the whole time, and y'all didn't know.
Yeah, but so like I feel like that like sparked the friendship of like continuing growth. And I think like it's a thing of like when somebody sees something in you and then they relate to it and they're like, there's something there. I think that's another thing, you know, that built the relationship, because I was just there to record. After recording, let's just finish this and let me just bounce and never come back and never see you again, dog. You know? Yeah, well, so like that's like recording there. Skylight was like sort of like one of the helpful things, you know, in life, you know. So that's where like the songs like Ngiyabonga with Telo Keys was recorded. The Ivesla like on it. So for Ingasfela was recorded, then Ulida recorded it on the other side of the world and then sent us the vocals, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where I recorded in my room and at Skylight Studios. Oh, yeah.
So now, I mean, how is it like? I mean, you're an independent artist. I mean, bringing like two other artists on a feature, like who are on two different locations.
Oh, it's a hard job, but at the same time, it's like it's interesting, you know, because like the first part of it is just like even the first part of it is just getting these people to be on the same page concept wise, to be like, you know what I'm saying? Because like what happened with Eating as Fellow was that first of all the song was supposed to be another guy on it. So in my head it was a song of like two dudes going off like sort of like beshela into the but now from different spaces or different narratives, because the guy was gonna be Umxhosa, so that I just wanted people who can embody a culture. So the first one was gonna embody the Zulu culture, and the second was gonna embody the Xhosa culture, which was gonna showcase indlela yokushela yakaZulu neyakaXhosa to just create this African dynamic shandis, yabo. So the other guy had like, you know, like life, so life had other plans for him, so he ended up not being able to record. It was like, yo, dude, I won't be able to record the song. So now I talked to Q and you're like, yo, Q, this other guy is now I was record. So, you know, so it's either you finish off the song Wedwa, or you're gonna get a female to record with you the second verse or the other part to just complete the whole thing, or we're gonna get another guy. Okay, what? It's either he's gonna finish the song himself, or we're gonna get a girl, right? So what happened is that like, Lydia was working with a guy I know from college called GNPS. So GNPS was like for like a year or so was head hunting with Lydia, but now they finally connected and they made some joints and whatnot. So like it was like somehow, somewhere, I my name was name dropped there. So like Lydia already knew who BlvckDBN was, you know, like as a person, so like we just got talking more, you know, just like as people, you know, like as random people, you know, chats. So now it got to a point where I was just listening back to the song, you know, like it's like what if we like get like her on this joint? Let me just
masterpiece,
you know. Let me just shoot my shot.
She completes the song, my dog.
You know?
And the verse is right at the end. Perfect placement. Like,
you know?
It just kills it, wraps it up nicely.
The vibe.
Beautiful song.
You know?
Beautiful song.
Yeah, so like when I sent her the joint, you know, she's like, no, email it to me, you know, like, because when I first work with artists, like on like a digital platform like Instagram or Facebook or whatever, I don't ask for numbers, you know, because I feel like it's weird if somebody's like, give me your number. I feel like you're not professional.
Are we working or what?
you
know? Want to be my friend or you want to be my colleague?
You know? So I'm like if this is not a relationship, let's not make a relationship. Let's making a working ship, you know? So like I was like, yo, dude, I have this song I think you can be dope on. Can I send it to you on the can I send it to you, and how can I send it to you? She's like, here's my email. Just email me the song. So at the time when I'm emailing the song, I said, I record, you know, so the song has my vocals on it. That is a demo vocal. So I sent it to her. She's like, she sends me something back, like probably like a day after. She's like,
talk about return time.
You know, she's like, Injan let them. So I listened to it. I'm like, how we are gone. I'm like, we are gone. And like the arrangement was not even like that at first. The arrangement was supposed to be like hook, verse, hook, then verse again. Yeah, well,
the traditional.
Yeah, the traditional way.
2, 3, 5.
Yeah.
Split.
Yeah. So like, but now my arrangement is very long. You know, so like my arrangement is very long. So when Q does it, he shortens it, but at the same time it has repetition. You know, if you notice, the song starts off with a versy part that ends up being a part of the hook. You know,
you're right.
So for me, I'm listening to this like, boy. You know, so for me, like that was like the craziest thing ever, because I'm like, that's what Burna Boy does. Burna Boy always kill they always repeat themselves in the song. Second to thinking as a verse, and then it was really hook. We are boy. I'm like, Havasuku is crazy. He's doing it also better boy. Then when we get the vocals, when she sends the vocals, we go to record, right? When we record, hence arrangement, it's like maybe change a man because Q does shorter verses, and then we developed a new arrangement for the song, which means if a slightly was shorter now. You know, so now seliphela kabuhlungu lisaphelele, and ama backings zakhe are sort of disarranged because the hook is not the same anymore. She amagama amancane, you know. So now what happens is that like there's the last part in the verse that you hear that flow switch, right? It's because that part was an add-on.
Oh, she had to redo that.
Yeah, she had to like
add it on top of the original verse.
Yeah, because like if it's like that's a little bit shy, then we hit it up. You're like, yo, dude. So what happened is that the arrangement is a
basically chopped it out.
It's a shitty arrangement. And then on top of that, I'm like, yo, can you do something for me like at the end so that the song won't be like less than 3 minutes? And she did that like a cappella moment. I was like, stuck. I was like, cause like when I'm hearing these things, like when I receive these things, I'm on my own,
yeah.
So like I'm the only one who can hear this. I'm like,
you're losing your mind.
This is crazy, you know. So now that's like how the whole song comes about to be the final version of the song, and in my head it's like I already know that like that whole nyasfela is gonna be like that's some repeatable shit. That's like that's something that you can go in the kitchen after hearing it in the text and be like, you're like, you know, which at the beginning was the whole concept of a whole song, you know, and like the song like being the way it is. I just wanted, like, the only thing I had to make sure was a repeatable thing. I didn't care who was where and what, but I just wanted something as a repeat, you know, which happened to be, you know, which I feel like is the greatest thing to ever happen, you know. Yeah.
No, man, this is sick, dog. Like, even I feel like see, my batteries will not allow me to talk about all your work.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Even like your previous project before this, E-Hope.
Yeah.
I was so shocked, like Mangi Lalele, and I was like, shit, this is also dope. I actually feel bad that I didn't hear it in 2019, and I'm only hearing it in 2021.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like I feel like I know the type of music that I make because of like how people react to it, you know. It's just like when you work on like something like E-Hope, you know. Yeah. It's like I feel like everything that's on that material is like sort of like new to the scene. It's not like your typical like songs or songs or like beats that were there at the time of 2019. And if you listen to like some of the beats, there resonate more to like 2016, 20 what like before, you know, which was like sort of like a thing of like that kind of posed fear to me. It's like, well, how will people receive this? Will this like be timeless enough?
Nah, it is timeless.
You know,
like I said, I jammed it like recently. Now,
but it still has
still fresh. Like I still look forward to going back to listening to a track like Home.
Yeah, that's
you
like
know?
That was like
I still go back to listening to what's that joint? Fuck, man. Let me speak facts and not speak bullshit.
Hey, cause like
9 to 5.
Yeah.
Theo Keys.
No, that's the, like, yeah, that's why I had to bring him back, you know, because I feel like it's just like
Him and Ant.
ANT the yo.
Are they ANT? Is it Ant or ANT?
It's ANT.
See, that's why.
ANT the artist.
ANT the artist.
Yeah.
Like, are they your homies? Because, like, I see you have a lot of work with them, specifically.
Yeah, they're like homies. Like the kids I met him at college, but like it was sort of like Nakon. It was one of those like organic relationships where you just meet a person and then you just talk and you're like, oh, we have something in common with this person, which is music. And then it builds up and becomes a collabo, and then it builds up to be a friendship or whatever. So like, but the thing with Theo Keys, even just beyond the friendship, is that like it's someone that I really believe in. That I feel like concept-wise and lyrically, he's like one of the best people, like one of the best lyricists in South Africa as a rapper, and as an artist is one of like the best writers. He has like that Kendrick effect for me. Like in South Africa, I feel like he's gonna have one of those Shane Eagles effects. He's gonna be a person who's gonna change the game, the rollouts, the marketing. Like, you know, like he's gonna, you know, when he drops, he's gonna be one of those people that you're gonna be like, hey, I'm just ghost if it's in the you know.
But you also that.
Yeah, but for me it's like I don't want all that attention. I just want the money, damn. But you know,
you just want the money that comes with it.
You know, you know. But for me, like the repetition of the features with the kids is that like it's someone that I believe South Africa needs to know, you know. So I feel like when you tap on the project, there's at least should be like one song where he's either rapping or whatever. But for Home, he was the first thing's voice is like it joined like Home, which is an Afrobeat. It wasn't supposed to be on that song, but he's one of the people that I like sent the beat to just like give me assurance. Is this beat like what I think it is? Because I feel like it's weird because I've never heard anything like that in South Africa or whatever. You know, I'm like, is this gonna work? You know. So like I once sent him the beat, and what do you think about this beat? Because he also produces and mixes and whatever. He's nice. He has a bag
all
of
round.
like, you know. So I'm like, dude, what do you think about this beat? It's like, this beat is fire. Like, this is like it's like a Java type of Shandis, you know. Like when he replied in the voice note, he did some singing Shandis about like just giving an example of like. This is the type of music, you know, that this song can end up being, you know. So then what happens is that the person who was supposed to be on the song was like, I WhatsApp that person. I'm like, yo, dude, because I'd met him in person, you know, I like his music. I'm like, you know. So the person was like, yo, email it to me.
Who's that?
I want to mention names, dog, you know. But like, hey, dog, you missed out. It's KP. I think it's KP. I'm just some lies. I heard him on a project. You know, the work. The baby project that keep no Doro, or he produced majorly projects at Doro that came out. I think 2016 or 2017. Yeah, but couldn't go to Bambelela. No, projects got Guanel. The community to Guanel, Spy no Gag. Couldn't go to Bambelela that I heard. I was like, dope. We ghost right now. We ghost. Like, so I'm like, yo, I hit up this nigga. We were in a show, yeah, bro. So I go up to him, like, you know, which I know it's weird to grabbing people when they're having fun and vibe. Like, yo, dude, can you give me a number? I'm trying to do a song with you. It's like, oh, great, sure. Then I hit up homie. I'm like, yo, dude, this is BlvckDBN. We met it, does that. It's like, oh yeah, boy. It's an I beat it of that song I was talking about, right? I'm just like, no, email me the joint. At that moment, I'm like, I'm broke. I'm like, now you want me to email the beat? I'm broke, you know. And I'm like, I don't. I'm like, hey, la face. Then I go to Theo Keys. I'm like, yo, dude, can you jump on this, bro? He's like, dog, no problem. Then he sent his back to me because he didn't like even give me a demo, whatever. Then he said, because Valley was going to do 9 to 5 because I felt like it's a boom bap rap or what. So Bell 9 to 5 was all showcase about.
Yeah.
And another thing I was running away from in the project was to have multiple features. Because I want to showcase many people in different like spaces and like beats, So, but I was like, okay, dude, can you do this? So when he sends it back, I'm like, dog, we got one, dog. We got one, dog. Cause like, first of all, it's like, I feel like there was like a double win. Cause it's like, first of all, I don't think people around him expect him to jump on a sound like that. But at the same time, he fits well because he knows how to sing. He has a voice, which then again showcases like things he can do, that he can rap, and he can really sing. It's not like he can like sing because there's auto-tune on. He like can really sing, So like that was like one dope thing to do, is to just have a joint like home, which was not planned at all.
Yeah. I see. But overall, like, what's your future plans for Patience specifically?
Patience, dog.
Is it out now?
Like,
you on to the next one?
No, I'm not like really on to the next one, but I'm like mentally I'm on to the next one. But like as far as Patience goes, like I'm still like waiting on money, because I wanna drop like merch for it. I just wanna like do all the things that I couldn't do for like eHope, because I feel like eHope was a place where I just like, by the time I dropped it, I was fed up by it because it took like a long time to like come together like the way it had to come together, which I was just like, dude, let's just drop it and just like, yeah, see, coach, even to this day, I literally, it's like one of those projects where I can't listen to it from top to bottom, because like every time I listen to it, I just think of like the struggles
that you went through.
It's like, dog, yakhumbula fethu lomchita fethu everything feature, everything yakhumbula, like, like you all think of all these bad things that happened, or like the mishaps that happened, and you're like, I don't want to go back there, But now with Patience, I feel like Patience is like just full circle of just getting a second chance to like do a project again that people like and people love, and just like I feel like so it's one of like the projects that I really haven't like really pushed. It's just like the only time I pushed it was when like
pandemic.
It's like when I did the pre-order situation. Like I knew that I just had to like at least push the pre-order because I was just trying to push against Philip too, to just like create that thing of like, oh, this project is coming effect. But then like the project has a life of its own. That's one thing I've noticed, that like everybody who listens to the project has that one song they come out with and they're like, it's
the one.
Yeah.
But I think that's when you know that you have a well balanced project.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have people coming to you with different favorites instead of everyone just sticking to one song.
Yeah, cause like I would say like one of the most like shocking things for me was just like maybe like last week or the previous week was just like checking my, what do you call these things? Checking like the stats for the streams on Apple Music, When you go there, it's like I checked the songs that were streamed the most in that week, which was like it was like Eat the Light and the song E Water, which for me was like weird because like it's not a song that like
that you would pick.
Yeah, that I was gonna be like pick as a single or pick as a song that I would be like, yo, go listen to this joint. For me, like the song that I thought was like gonna do the most was Inga's Fail. It's like I was like, this one is the one. This is the song that the people were like definitely like vibe with the most, which turned out to be like people like the emotional stuff. I was like, I was just like, okay, this is new.
I was picking so it's standard.
Yeah, well, like abantu tabakhethe la dog, but hey, asifune sifuna le shandisile yabo.
it's shocking what like an artist may drop an album and choose a single, but the single flops.
Yeah.
But it's also, there's a nice song that we like there, but because you and your team don't want to push it. So this is another thing. Like, I in my other time that I make, I work with artists.
Yeah.
So on some
manager
level. It's not. I'm not really managing because like I know what it means to manage something, not just to be an artist manager, but just to manage something. So I don't like to call myself a manager because this is not what I'm doing. But for the sake of the conversation, we'll say I'm to manage. I've noticed that it's like you undervalue the whole product. Like you don't you don't understand the product. Like if you're releasing a project, like it's a product that's a collection of products.
Yeah.
No, if you understand.
I get that.
So like
basket or gift.
Exactly.
Corny Cadbury, corny Cadbury, corny basket.
Corny chips.
Yeah.
You know?
So
manzi. So like you gotta sell the whole thing. Like everything has to go. Like we can't say, oh, this is our only single. Like when you're making a project, like if you look at South African radio stations, okay, South Africa is like we have different ears, different audiences. Yeah. Like if you on radio, there's an audience that listens to the Zulu station. Yeah. There's an audience that listens to
the English.
In those divisions, those people make up millions.
Yeah.
So for instance, if I had a project where I have an artist who's ngesixhosa.
Yeah.
That song, I'm pushing that song on Mhlobo Wenene.
Yeah.
It's still my sound, still me.
Yeah.
Same artist, just I'm featuring this Xhosa guy.
Yeah.
Or Xhosa lady who will come in and bring in the Xhosa essence. Yeah. Soto, let's say the FM and so forth. So like the whole thing like has to go. So you could literally have your whole album playing on radio.
Yeah.
SA.
Yeah, that's the whole like, and that's like the whole concept behind like the project, you know, like having different like sides to it, you know, and like that's why I'm saying it's like I still want to drop merch and I still want to push it further, but like at the same time I'm thinking of the future, you know. But like my whole thing when I sat back and like looked at the game in South Africa, that like South Africans in the entertainment industry don't know how to maximize. You know, like Jungle Bush is like people just drop projects and then they just like do the next thing. It's like, yeah, guys, go stream my projects, but like, what are you bringing with the project? And just like the digital age we're in now, like things like CDs are becoming like available things. You know, if like it's a classic, if it's a real classic project, it's like back in 2010. You know, when we were young, if somebody had a vinyl of like a Kanye West project, you know, like College Dropout, it's like that person you look at that person as like special because like
it's a collector's item.
You know, like that person like from 20 years now, once Kanye West, no 60 can no measure on Kanye West, can just be like, I'm selling this College Dropout thing, you know, for like for an auction, like maybe like a person who was broke when Kanye West dropped College Dropout, but now they're rich, they have all the money in the world, they're gonna be like, I'm gonna give this person $1 million to give me this thing, and I'm gonna, you know, have the only one in the world, you know. So I feel like as a producer, as an artist, or as a person who's in the same industry, the whole project is just it's just finding the connections of like the people that can get me to like Ukozi, that can get me to like all the stations that you talked about, you know, because the Inga's Fela play there's a bigger homie of mine, Utami, you know, who I met when I went to Kakas in 2018 for like a producer like show, you know, AI host was so cool. I think it was called the beat something. There's like something I forgot the name, which is why Uleb didn't give me the interview at first. So I'm sorry, Lab. I forgot the name, you know. But there was Connie production thing that was done by So Cool, you know. So it was the backstory of it though. The Lab thing was that we were at Imbizo, Music Imbizo, right? So I was working there because they were taking like interns of some sort from our college. I've also I got in the team and got to work there for the year. And Ikakas was part of the people that were there. So I see Lab. I'm like, oh, Lab, Lorna from the Fresh Cut every Saturday since 2016. I've been listening. So I go to Lab. I'm like, yo, Lab, how do I get on this producer Shandis? So to Lab, if you can just tell me the name of the show. So far, I'm like,
damn.
I'm like, and also like I forgot the other question he asked me. Then he was like, okay, go to Facebook and search somebody called So Cool and talk to them. And then, you know, so then I went to talk to So Cool, and then the rest was that. So when I went there to Kakasi, you know, so I didn't know what beats they were going to play. Because I said I'm a beat. I think I sent like 3 beats. In the first pack of beats that I sent, Connie beats are sad that I couldn't send. Then I sent another beat in a separate email, you know, which was the one that actually played. You know? So when I get out, you know, because I'm from the beginning, I'm a person who comes and do what he has to do and then vibe. I just want to vibe. So as I go out, you know, this guy comes up to me and is like, he hasn't done that. I was the one listening to your beats and I feel like you have potential, what. I'm like, what's this dude? Then me, you know. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem, bro. Then he takes my number, you know. Then that's another relationship that was created through music, just doing my thing and just like trying to bounce, you know.
Stick
like,
to your own lane.
You know. So he's like, no, I think there's a guy that I can hook you up with. Take my number. What. So like he believed me. He believed in my beats in that sense, you know. So ever since then, we've just been like talking, and he does this show called Time and Friends. Like it's a comedy show where in between like the music performances, you know. So like he's one of the people who like performing in Durban. It's like it's a home attack. I'm not even trying to do this artist standards, you know. So then like I told him that like I wanted to do I'm going to do a project called this and that, and I'm thinking of doing a listening session, which was the first thing I told you about, you know. Then as time went by, I'm like, I'm a solo man. I can't do this. I don't have the money. So when I choose to drop the listening session situation, when I talked to him before, he was like, "Yo, dude, I can hook you up. I can hook up an interview for you at the show, no lab and what. So I was like, cool. So can we put it at, because the listening session was going to be at the end of the month of May, because the project is going to drop on the 1st of June. So just create that like duality, so for people to be like, oh, listening session drop, you know, so it won't be too long. Like listening session, so when that happened, it was like thing of like I told him, dog, hey, dog, I'm dropping this listening session thing, you know. But he was like, okay, so but the interview is still on, you know. So that's how I got the interview. So then that's where we broke the song in as Fela for I think for the first time in radio, unless somebody out there in the world copied it and pirated it or whatever. But yeah, so like, cause that's the song I felt like in that type of market can work in like Ikakasi. That's like the song that I felt like the market of Ikakasi can like take. And then when like the next day or the next week when I went to like Apple Music for artists, when I saw the Shazams went up for like Ingas Fella, I was like, see what I'm talking about?
Shazam works. Shazam that shit.
You know,
bro. Before this thing cuts us and we don't say goodbye properly, thank you for pulling through. There's a lot we didn't touch on. Like I didn't get into like, you know, your time growing up. You're 21 years old, but you're already doing so much. That's why we can't even go deep. But again, nonetheless, it's not the last time.
Definitely, dog. Definitely.
Thank you for pulling through. I really believe in your music.
Thank you, bro. Thank
and
you.
I enjoy your music, and you make really, really timeless music. Like joints like Inya's Fela will still be jamming to it, like way past its time now.
Yeah.
College Live, 905.
Hey, dog. Those are songs that way when you go back, you're gonna be like I feel like
I think they're relevant to
whenever
to like daily life.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like to people, just not to cut you off. Like, I think that's the essence of the whole brand that I'm trying to build off like Black Durban. It's just like giving people music that they can live with, not music that just music that they can just go to TikTok with and just like, and it's just like it's over, like you shall dance or then you paid. I just want to give people something that they can like, if you're down, you can just like play that song and be like, I'm not alone in this world. Like there's somebody who's actually experiencing this, or who has gone through this, same thing that I feel like music has done for me when I look at someone like a Kanye West or a Shane Eagle or whoever. When you listen to their songs when they were still broke and you look at them now, like right now Kanye West is a billionaire, but you listen to College Dropout, you're like, damn, this person was complaining about life. You're like, so now when you look at that, you're like, I can make it, dog. I can make it. So for me, that's the whole point of the music, is just like making music that if someday I become like a special figure in the music industry and people are like, BlvckDBN, BlvckDBN, you know what I'm saying? Then you go listen to that joint and you're like, damn, this nigga was talking about this and that and that and that. And then you're like, but he's there now, so you can like get inspired, and that's the whole concept of it, though.
Shout out. That is BlvckDBN, right here on GNPS. Thank you for pulling through, brother.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing your career rise, man. Look forward to seeing you grow. You're still young. Don't give up. Don't like, even if they won't see, man. Like, it doesn't matter how hard. Like you listen. I'm 31.
Yeah.
I just started out.
Yeah.
You are 21.
You know what I'm saying?
See?
Yeah.
Like, you've got like 10 years to play with.
Yeah,
you just play with it, and then at 31 get serious.
And that's like,
but like play with it within the craft.
Yeah.
Like, experiment, try new things,
and
and keep at it. Don't be like, I've been doing music for 5 years and I still haven't blown up. Get that out of your mind. Like you're super talented. You're making dope music.
Yeah.
Like I can only wonder what you're gonna do when you're at my age.
It's like crazy.
Like,
yeah.
It's gonna be.
And just before we go off, like the whole dream of this music thing is to someday get into the space of composing, like really like composing, like not just to sit behind a computer and just press chords or have a MIDI keyboard. It's just like to just be able to do it like the great Quincy Jones and No Ray Piri and or Casper Semenya, to just be like able to put it on paper and just have like bunch of, even if it's on composition, guys. So there's a black composition in the world, because I feel like as South Africans, like since all Huma Sigela, and I think with them being fortunate or unfortunate to go to America and go New York Music School to just study jazz, then study how to write the music, study how to do that. I feel like they added like more substance to the music in the South African industry, because when you listen to a Huma Sigela joint, even now, you just like, So I just want to get to a point where I can literally just like write it down, for the next generation to just have someone in the 2000s to be like, oh, there's another composer in the limelight who did the commercial and who composed, because I feel like the most composers in South Africa probably sit in a room and they sell their composition and they make money and they're not in the limelight. So I feel like as a musician, I owe it to the greats to be like, let me just like, even if I don't go to school for it, because I'm like tired of college at this point, I don't want to do another qualification, but like, even if I don't go to school for it, like find a way to actually learn how to write and compose music, just to pay homage to the people that like passed it on. So yeah, that's the last point I'm gonna make, because we've been saying we're gonna close it off.
It never ends.
Yeah.
Thank you, BlvckDBN.
Yeah.
Officially, I think on camera we're no longer gonna call you Dogos. It's official.
BlvckDBN.
This is BlvckDBN. So in future, if you see him great things, just know you saw him here first. Otherwise, it's been real, it's been good. Check out all our previous episodes. Thank you to all our returning subscribers. We love you and appreciate you. Hey, I'm looking for a DOP. You know how to handle yourselves behind the cameras. Hit me up. But you also got to provide your own transport. Once you start making money, then you'll be getting paid. That's for sure. So, but in any case, yeah, I do need some help because it takes longer, and it's just like it's annoying for me to stand up and go behind the cameras and in the middle of the conversation. So, actually, I have to be honest with myself. I do need help. So, if you are somebody that's knows how to handle yourself behind the cameras, you know how to operate basic standard DSLRs. We use Sony's here. So we have a Sony A7 II and a Sony A7 III. So yeah, hit me up either in the comments or hit me up on Instagram at general_engineer.
Peace.
Otherwise, it's been real. It's been nice. Catch us next time.